we're celebrating Ione's triple-digit birthday. She said to me just a week ago, "You know, I don't know why you're making such a big deal out of it. It's just another birthday." I said, "Ione, it's a triple-digit birthday." Yay! Then in my true nature I said, "I've never been to a 100th birthday party, Ione, and it's all about me, so please be there. I want to have this party." But first I'd like to introduce you to, and there's no introduction necessary, Dr. Robert Chang, our medical rector. Ione's personal physician.
Thank you. Ione, I wanted to say just a few words. You've been a patient with me. You've actually been a neighbor. I don't know how many of you know that Ione lives several blocks away from me. Can you hear me? So she's a neighbor as well as somebody who works with healthcare here. Okay. So I've been watching you over the years. And one of the things that I've noticed is you're one of the kinds of people who make every day special. You try and accomplish something every day. Can you hear me there in the back? She does try and accomplish something every day. So when you wake up one morning and it's your 100th birthday, that's a rare, special occasion. Yeah, it is. So, come to think of it, it's rare for the rest of us, right? To be invited to a birthday party for a 100-year-old, especially a classy lady like you. So, I feel privileged to be here. I feel lucky to be here. And I want to wish you, very briefly, a very, very happy birthday.
Thank you.
Here's to the next 100 years, Ione. You may be here by yourself. No doubt you'll be here. Okay, I have a few of our Pet Pioneer guests that I'd like to introduce to you. We have Dean and Candace Peterson here. You want to just raise your hands and let us see? Fresh back from their trip to Costa Rica. Welcome to the luncheon. Alice Desdin, where's Alice? Did you get your continuous flow oxygen? Can you grab that, Jackie? I got oxygen in back to put her on continuous flow. Sorry about that, Alice. Glad you're with us and feeling better and on the mend. We'll keep you busy and active, that's for sure. We have with us for the first luncheon the Wen family. Dow, Catherine, and Dan. Can you just raise your hands? This man drove all the way from Monterey Park. He attended rehab. He did whatever he had to do. He did a fabulous job. We're delighted to have you and your family join us. Thank you for attending. And then we even have some current class members who haven't finished all of the intensity of the pulmonary rehab. We have Michael Laren. There's Michael over there. Michael has a unique distinction that his mother went through our rehab program about 15 or 18 years ago. So it's kind of a family fair, unfortunately. But welcome, Michael. We're glad to see you and have you here. And Kay and Gray Dahl are here from the current class. That makes 4 days this week that they are either in class or here with us today, that they're involved in pulmonary rehab activities. So congratulations. Good for you. And we also have Barbara and Robert Payne, who we haven't seen for a little while. So glad you could join us too. Quite a few volunteers from the gift shop. We welcome you here to celebrate this special event with us. We know that you know and love Ione as much as we do. And we will be back around to hear some of the stories that you have. Meanwhile, Kurt, can you come up and say a minute about the big day we have next week?
Well, it doesn't compare to Ione's 100th birthday. But we do have a great field trip, as many of you know, next week going to the Reagan Presidential Library. I want everyone to know the trip is sold out, 100% sold out, but there are a few people who have not paid Nan Worley, the goddess of money. And so there are 7 people that have not paid. So please pay or you're going to lose your place in line because there is a waiting list for the trip. Besides that, I just want you all to know the bus is going to leave the PEP parking lot at 10 in the morning, and we should be in the museum by 11 o'clock. A representative of President Reagan's presidential library is going to board the bus and welcome you and say a few words. We have, they'll lead us into the museum, and then we're kind of off on our own. We have wheelchairs that we're bringing with us on the bus, and the Reagan Library will also have wheelchairs. Because it's a fair amount of walking, even though there are places to sit down. And then we have a fabulous luncheon planned at 12:30 right under the wings of Presidential Air 1. And we'll be able to go through Air 1. So that will be a pretty amazing experience. There are also a lot of cars on loan from Peterson Automotive Museum. So we'll be able to see the Pope Mobile and Ferraris and Maseratis and a lot of historic automobiles. So it really should be a great field trip, but if you haven't paid your money, you better hurry up and see the Goddess of Money, Nan Worley. So,
You know that.
the Goddess of Money, that's a pretty good title. So thank you.
I know. I thought being the Goddess of Oxygen was a pretty good title. Being the Goddess of Money, wow. I've been slipping. Okay, I want to remind you of some of our events coming up. We've had some questions and asking, and you'll certainly read it in your Pep Talk newsletter. But our meet and greet happy hour is Tuesday, April 28th. The last Tuesday of the month, same location, Doubletree Hotel, Vintage Lounge. When you arrive, if you park in the very south parking lot, you will have very easy access into the lobby and into the lounge. It's all flat walking with just one step. They'll have a table set up for us. They will have table service bringing us our drinks and our appetizers, and they even give us separate checks. We are treated like queens no matter where we go. So join us for that last Tuesday of the month for our meet and greet happy hour. Next month in May, in just a couple of weeks, Jackie and Joseph and Carol and I are very excited because our state conference is coming up. We go every year. And the thing that makes us get more excited about this than any of our other state meetings or conferences that we have is this is the California Society for Pulmonary Rehabilitation. It's just pulmonary rehabilitation. It has nothing to do with critical care, emergency room care, products that don't apply to us. It's 3 days of focused, intense, cutting-edge research and information on pulmonary rehab. I haven't slept through one part of their conferences yet. They keep me awake and stimulated all the time. I suspect, after talking to some people that are going to be speaking there and reading the agenda, that when we come back, we are going to be exercising you differently. And that's all I'm going to say about that for right now, is there are some research going on and some talks that if we exercise you differently, we'll get better results, and they've always held true in the past. This is what sent us to the resistance training. Last year, the big hot product and the hot item was the Equinox portable oxygen concentrator. Smaller, quieter, lighter. It was in such demand, and they were so backed up in making them, that the sales rep there demonstrating it to all the physicians and therapists and nurses didn't even have one to demonstrate for us. The sales rep couldn't get one to show us. He had to show us with pictures and brochures and posters. So it's been a year later, and here, the Pet Pioneers own 3 of these pieces of equipment. It blows me away. You guys are amazing people. You raise the money for that yourself. They are popular, they're hot, and you're staying right on the cutting edge of technology. During this time we're gone, which is Wednesday, May 13th to Friday, May 15th, the gym will be closed. There will be no exercise, there will be no strength and balance. I don't want to hear a big sigh of relief. Because we expect you to exercise at home, in the park, drive down to the beach, go to a mall, and certainly show up when we reopen the gym on the 19th of May. There will be signage to remind you, and it will be in the newsletter, but just to let you know, we're going to have some updates in the next month's Pep Luncheon about what we've learned at this conference. In August is our annual summer picnic and barbecue at Victor Park. It'll be on the 3rd Thursday. we'll need a head count for that. And for those of you that have been there before, you know that's the ideal location to have a picnic because it's close parking, there's no stairs, it's well shaded, there's adequate seated capacity, and we usually have Jackie's husband Mario and sometimes Carol's husband Roy man the barbecue, and just do magical things with Italian sausages and hamburgers and hot dogs. So put that down for your third Thursday in August. Next month's speakers are going to be Help for Seniors. They're a Torrance-based referral and resource center that is amazing in how they can help you problem solve by setting you up with the right professional, the right organization, the right places to go to get information and to help you through any problems that you may be having. They're going to be speaking about independent living at home. That's a great subject. Avoiding scams, and there was a third one, Jackie. I didn't get it written down. Jackie's not here. She's at the salad bar. So next month it's going to be Help for Seniors, and they always give us an excellent presentation. It just so happens, and I believe that nothing is a coincidence myself, that this week is National Volunteer Week. How perfect is that? Ione, thank you for your service, for your 53 years of volunteering. To all the ladies and gentlemen in the back of the room who are part of the Providence Little Company and Mary Auxiliary, thank you so much for all you do to make it a better experience for our patients and our clients and to make it easier for us. You are awesome to give you so generously of your time and your talents. And for my wonderful pet pioneers who coordinated this luncheon today and who coordinated and got the bus trip going for next week and the whale watching trip and countless activities. They're all volunteers, and these events wouldn't happen without them. They plan the events and then they invite Jackie and I to go. How awesome is that? So volunteers really do make the world go round and really do make a difference, and I thank every single one of you on the pulmonary rehab behalf staff and on the Providence Little Company and Mary staff. Thank you very, very much. Let's get some raffles going. Yay! Loud round of applause for volunteers. Yes. Yes. Making a difference in lives. Making a huge difference. We're going to do our raffles. Then after that we have a few presentations and some dignitaries to introduce you to. Do you know it's Ione's triple-digit birthday? Triple-digit. When my daughter turned 10, I had a freak out. It's like, my daughter's now double-digit. She went from 9 being a single-digit, now she's a double-digit. And then I was thinking, Ione is a triple-digit now. It's like she's... And this Ione celebration actually started 4 years ago as a countdown. Because when she was 97, we set aside 15 minutes at a luncheon, went to Torrance Bakery, got the big balloons. Somehow the balloons they kind of rotated and they're floating, and for a while it says she was 79. And she goes, oh, don't touch it, just leave them like that. No, we must be honest now. We must be honest, Ione. Then we had a 98, then a 99, and here we are today with the 3 balloons for the triple digit. Yes. Arlene Thomas, that's right. Where is she? Oh, there you are, Arlene. I'm so sorry. It's wonderful. I saw you coming in, and I need a big hug from you before you leave, but we're glad to have you here, too. Yes. It's been a long time. 3 years. That's too long of a time. Oh. Okay, Jackie, you're going to take over with the... Don't do this loud.
You're laughing because you know that. Okay, first we're going to do is the jewelry. And my assistant here is going to have some of you have beautiful jewelry. And we'll see who the winner is.
She could get it to work. Oh, she could.
John Hill, you're going to wear a fuse brace.
John, I think this
Surprised there was a
beautiful
loser.
on you, and it matches your shirt.
It was the only thing I could see that I wouldn't want. There was nothing there that I wanted, so I put it there.
Maybe he did.
Gee, what a surprise, the Tenorts won. Go figure. They win because they stuffed the box. I'm telling you folks, when we're cleaning up, they've got 15 cards with their names on it in there.
She didn't know I put the ticket there.
Travel bags and purses. BB is B. I stuffed that box. I stuffed that box with 12 raffle tickets. I wanted those bags. Thank you. See, that's what it takes. I stuffed that box. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Gretchen. Well worth it.
This is a painting by our 100-year-old person.
A painting painted by Ione Ransom, our VIP, very important pioneer today. Remember doing that?
I recognize it.
I guess you would.
You have the
Pat Cottrell won the painting.
Oh, wow.
Did you do that in Hawaii? Pat Cottrell at the back door. Did you do that painting in Hawaii? It looks like she did that in Hawaii. Very nice. Pat Cottrell won it at the back door, signing people in. She thanks you. Yay, Pat!
Who's the biggie?
Yay, Dale, beginner's luck. Congratulations.
Is that a video? That's good.
When you weren't looking, that's where they got all those pictures. But Get away.
Yeah, I know. Might take you to the casino and win some money.
Hey, Archie.
And last 50-50, and Ione will pick it.
50-50 raffle, and Ione's going to pick the winner. 50-50 raffle. Jackie's got a handful of tickets and a handful of money.
Woo, doggy!
Okay. That's half.
Yeah, that's how. Okay. Ione, because you're 100 today, you get to pick the 50-50 raffle. So?
You can pick your own name, you just can't go looking for it.
She says, I want to see where my name is. Okay, there you go. Way down deep. And only one. And you'll give it to Betsy.
Okay, this is going to be going home with Karen Herron. Congratulations, wait till you hear how much money it is. Jackie will come and count it out to you.
Okay, let's see what we got for you here. 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Wow. 110.
120. Congratulations, Karen.
Congratulations.
Okay, the Pep Pioneer staff and the Pioneer Board of Directors have a few comments that they would like to make regarding Ione and the year she was born and things going on. Then we're going to open up to the audience. We're going to walk around with the microphone and have anybody tell us Ione's stories, Ione-isms. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Andrew? Okay. Where I don't even see.
I think you have to write.
Okay, I think I'm going to start. I've been elected to start in telling you about the very first time that I met Ione. Actually, it wasn't all that long ago, Ione. It was only 6 years ago. I was in the office and we had a patient that was referred to pulmonary rehab. And before we really get to meet the patient, there's an awful lot of background work that goes on. We have to collect required documents, doctor's signatures, certifications, mandatory medical records, and we have a checklist as these things come in. When they're there and when everything is composed and ready to go, we call UPEP, and we make an appointment, and we have our initial assessment and evaluation, and that's where we set up the goals and the treatment plan and plot your personal pulmonary rehab course. Well, the day before the appointment, I sit down with all this paper and I start putting it into a work form that I can work with and gather all the information and condense it to the most important stuff And as I'm reading the medical record, it says, wait, this has a date of birth of 1915. That can't be right. That would mean she's 94 years old. So I went to another piece of paper and it said, this has a date of 1915. How can that be? So with a little bit of a panic in my soul, I started thumbing through the paperwork, and sure enough, the doctor had dictated this 94-year-old patient. I went, oh my God, I've never worked with a 94-year-old patient starting rehab. The medications will be the same, the oxygen therapy will be the same, the ADLs will be the same. How do you exercise someone who's 94 years old? I've never done it. So I went to the phone and I made some phone calls to other pulmonary rehab programs, and they said, oh, I've never had anyone in their 90s refer to me for rehab. Let me know how it goes. And I said, gee, thanks. So after a couple of phone calls, I ran to my other source of information, which is Dr. Google, and got on Google and, you know, just put in the basic keywords, and it says, exercise is recommended sitting down, using pedals. You can get, and I go, oh, our arm ergometer comes off the stand. You can put foot pedals on it. That's what I'll do. I'll put the pedals down, I'll sit her in the chair, I'll exercise her that way. And it's like, okay, I've got this covered. I can do this. I can exercise this lady. We can help her. We can make her better. So the next day, I'm waiting for the appointment to come and waiting for the appropriate time for this Ione woman to show up and meet with me. And I'm in the office taking care of business, and I've got a chair with the arm ergometer pedals on the floor, set up for the bike to pedal her. And in rushes, and I mean rushes, this tall, statuesque, well put together and well made lady saying, hi, am I late? Well, that depends. What are you here for? I'm Ione. I'm here for a pep rehab eval. Oh my God. I stereotyped you, Ione. I'm so sorry. Don't thank me. I'm so sorry. Immediately, I knew the chair and the pedals was going to be gone. That this lady, we interviewed her. We did the 6-minute walk. She sailed through it. She says, oh, I don't like to exercise much, but I'll do it if you tell me it's necessary. She's become an exercise princess, an exercise guru. She comes to the gym 3 days a week. She does the treadmill. She does the new steps. 6 years later, she's still active and involved in exercise and in rehab. And then when I told her, you know, you look familiar to me, she says, oh, that's because I'm a volunteer in the workshop, and I mean in the gift shop. And I said, that must be where I know you from volunteering in the gift shop. She didn't tell me extensively what her full volunteer history with the hospital was, just I work in the gift shop. And to tell you a little bit more about Ione and what she's done, I'm going to call Kurt.
Do you want to sit?
Where's Andrew? Do you want to come? Where's Andrew? Andrew, slide out. He went outside, all right. Well, while we're waiting for Andrew, I'm going to tell you about this amazing woman right here, Ione. Beauty, wit, intelligence, and determination. That is Ione. I want to tell you a little bit about Ione's life. 100 years is a lot to cover, so I'm going to cover 100 years in just a couple of minutes. She was born April 21st, 1915, in the great state of Iowa, in a little town called Carroll, Iowa. Actually, she wasn't even born in Carroll, Iowa. She was born in a little hamlet near Carroll called Carnarvon. It sounds like carnivore, but it wasn't. They had a lot of pigs in those days in the farms, because Ione was from a farming family. And her family produced and sold animal feed, produce, and dairy products. And Ione and her two brothers
help run
in the
the
beauty
family
salon.
business.
The owner of the salon came up to Ione and said, "I'm moving the business to Florida. Do you want to buy my business?" And Ione said, I don't have enough money to buy the salon, and the only thing I have is I have a really nice car." And the owner said, "Well, why don't you trade your car for ownership of the salon?" And that's exactly what she did. She traded her car for the ownership of the salon. And then she was so successful in doing that, she bought a couple other salons. So again, that's her business savvy. In 1942, she met and married Frank Bettinger. And in 1944, like so many other men, he was drafted into the service. And she followed him to Camp Roberts, California, very famous Army camp. And later they moved to Gardena, California, and had a daughter in 1947. That was the year I was born, actually. Unfortunately, Frank passed away of heart problems in 1947, and Ione became a single mother raising a daughter to support. And she started to work as a bookkeeper in a local nightclub, probably in Gardena, the early days of card clubs in Gardena. And I think that was probably the early years of her developing a fondness for cards, because she loved to play cards later on. And a few years later, Ione started working with a local realtor, and the realtor wanted to develop an office building, and Ione put up her house for collateral. They then tore down her beloved house and built an office building on that property, and that office building is still on the property today. So that's a high-quality real estate woman. And in 1959, I know it's 100 years, I'm going as fast as I can, but there's a lot of interesting things about this woman, believe me. In 59, she met Carl Ransom and moved to Palos Verdes, where she's lived ever since. 10 years later, they split up, and Ione developed a life of living on her own and a life of independence that she's carried all these years. And this is a woman that's known how to take care of herself on her own and with her great friends that she's had over the years. But she also learned to give back to the community, and we've heard so much about that. She's done so much for so many people, we couldn't even list it all here. But a couple things stand out. One is her volunteer work at Providence Little Company of Mary that you heard about. Not for 10 years, not for 20 years, not 53 years this woman worked in the gift shop. That's pretty amazing. She's also served on the boards of directors at the Palos Verdes Art Society, the Toberman House, and Little Company of Mary Auxiliary. It used to be called the Women's Auxiliary. She's a talented interior designer, an accomplished golfer, that goes back to your cafeteria days in Colorado, and as we all saw, a very talented artist. That's pretty amazing. What an amazing woman. Well, what are the secrets to her longevity? A couple things that you might want to know, and a couple things were brought up earlier. She doesn't eat fruit. I know all the doctors say eat fruit, blah, 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 blah. She has an occasional banana, but she loves chocolate candy, and that's my kind of woman, huh? She loves chocolate candy. She exercises at PEP regularly. We know that's a proven formula for improving your wind. She plays cards, and that helps keep the mind sharp, very sharp. And she, in the evening, enjoys just a little pinch of Bailey's Irish cream every night while she's watching TV. She and David Letterman have a good relationship. And as you heard, she drinks not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5 cups of coffee a day. So make sure you're drinking your coffee if you want to live to be 100. And the smartest thing she does is she hangs around with younger people, which is all of us, by the way. Tuesday, I was working out at the working on the treadmill right next to Ione, and then I went over to the coffee club area, and I said, I wanted to get some juicy stories. I mean, this woman's lived 100 years. She's got to have some really good, juicy stories. She keeps things pretty close to the vest, I tell you. I had a tough time getting anything out of her. She told me about she's traveled all over the world, but one of her best trips was to Japan, where she spent 2 weeks with a Japanese family and really got to learn a lot about the Japanese culture and the scenery and everything, and that was a very special trip with her. She also told me when she lived in Golden, Colorado, she and her girlfriend would sneak over to the Colorado School of Mines College, where the fraternity boys were, and they would sneak into the fraternity parties to drink beer. And lastly, I kept pushing her. Now, Ione, were you ever in trouble, you know? Didn't you ever get grounded? And she said, oh, my parents were very, very strict, and, no, I was a good girl, and I said, well, did you ever, even go skinny dipping? And she said, well, yeah. So that's my kind of girl. She likes skinny dipping and chocolate. So, Ione, happy, happy birthday. And that's an amazing woman. And now, it's my pleasure to introduce Andrew from Providence, the Little Company of Mary. Andrew.
Thank you, Kurt. First of all, let's make sure we got the 100 really standing out here. But we started out with some really special people here talking for us. We had Mayor Fury here, Supervisor Kanabe, the American Heart Association, some really wonderful honors here for Ione. And we have some more coming. Ione has touched all of the communities that she's been in, but three real specifically here in Torrance, her home of Palos Verdes Estates, and as well as San Pedro, and the work that you've done there. So we have a couple people here today that want to recognize Ione for the contributions that you've made to the communities and just to the society in general. So I want to start with Field Representative Fernando Morales, who is here representing California Senator Ben Allen.
Thank you. And first of all, I want to say happy birthday. It's an honor to be here on behalf of Senator Allen. And I wanted to make sure to bring this commemoration of your service and of your beautiful birthday with everybody here. And I wanted to read a little bit from it. And it goes, in recognition of over 50 years of dedicated service to our community's health and general well-being, your service has touched the lives of countless patients, families, and volunteers in the Senate District 26 and all across our state. You're an inspiration and reminder that through leadership and perseverance, we all can be the change we want to see in the world. Thank you for your service and happy birthday. And I also want to...
Thank you.
And I also wanted to say that if any time you're looking to play a round of golf or some cards, you should let the senator know. Maybe we can make it a party.
Thank you, Fernando, very much. And to Senator Allen, thank you so much. Thank you. Well, the awards are going to keep coming. So it's going to be, we got more to come. Sorry about the microphone, everyone. Representing Assemblyman David Hadley is Representative Tom Brewer here to say a few words for Assemblyman David Hadley.
Thank you very much. It's really an honor for me to be here today representing Assemblymember David Hadley. I was taking notes back there because as I've gotten older, I want to live to be 102. And everything I read, it kind of contradicts what you've been telling us. But chocolate and Bailey's, I can do that. And golf, I'll have to take that one up. But I'm amazed, and one of the things that my office told me was when I get back, they want to have a list of how they can live to be 102. So I'm in awe of your 100th birthday. And not only that, all the service you've done for the little company of Mary, 53 years of service. That's really amazing. So the assembly member, now I've given out a few of these myself, but this is the first one I've actually given out that's been framed. So that's how much he values what you've done for the community, for the little company of Mary, and for having 100 years of life. So let me see what he has to say. It says, on behalf of the 66th Assembly District, I proudly present this proclamation, honoring your service and generosity to the South Bay community through several volunteer organizations. Your dedication is a remarkable example of kindness and leadership. Signed, Assembly Member David Hapler.
Oh, yeah, so beautiful.
Thank you, Tom. Now, our three cities that I mentioned are here. We have the presidents from all three chambers of commerce have taken time out of their day to come here to recognize Ione. And I want to start with Eileen Huff, the president of Palos Verdes Chamber of Commerce.
It's feedback. Move this way. I think it's feedback.
Thank you, Andrew. Wow. Oh my gosh. How can we make this not? If I maybe if I stand here. Is that good? Okay. It is my honor and pleasure on behalf of the entire Palos Verdes community. Hold it closer. Okay, thank you. We'll try this again. It is my honor and pleasure on behalf of the entire Palos Verdes Peninsula community to congratulate you, Ione, on 100 years. Oh my gosh. My mom lived to be 98, and I can't even begin to imagine the things that you have seen and the history that you have experienced. I mean, you were born in World War I, and you saw, from the first, the beginning of the airline industry to landing on the moon. I remember my mom talking about, my mom talking about nylon stockings when they were first introduced, right? But just, it is such an honor to be able to be here today and share a little part of this day with you. Thank you. Your service to the community, you have touched so many lives. As 53 years part of the Providence Little Company of Mary family, that is wonderful. And beyond that, Toberman, the Palos Verdes Art Center, we're just honored to be here. And I wish you all the best for a wonderful birthday and another 100 years. I'm planning to be back. So thank you. Congratulations. I have a certificate from you as well. Okay, let's switch. There you go. And it just says to the Palos Verdes Peninsula Chamber of Commerce, congratulates Ione Ransom on your 100th birthday. Thank you for 5 decades of service to the entire South Bay community. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen, very much. And I think we fixed our microphone problem, hopefully. So, staying in the South Bay community and representing San Pedro, the president of the San Pedro Chamber of Commerce, Elise Swanson.
Ione, I'm just thrilled to be here today, and I'm very, very honored to wish you 100 happy years, happy birthday. And I'm actually wearing 2 hats today. I'm representing the San Pedro Chamber of Commerce and our 385 members, but also council member from the city of Los Angeles, Joe Buscaino, who wishes you a happy birthday as well. We really appreciate you for your service to all the organizations, but in particular to the Toberman Neighborhood Center. Such a vital part of the San Pedro community, and just thank you so much for the service to Toberman.
Thank you.
I'd like to show everyone this gorgeous certificate from Councilmember Buscaino, the City of Los Angeles. And I'm going to put my glasses on. On behalf of the City of Los Angeles and Council District 15, we wish you a happy 100th birthday filled with the warmth of sunshine, the happiness of smiles, the sounds of laughter, the feeling of love, and the sharing of good cheer. For more than 50 years, you have volunteered in the gift shop at Providence Little Company and Mary Medical Center, Torrance, and the Toberman Neighborhood Center in San Pedro. The community appreciates all of your dedication and hard work. April 16th, 2015, Joe Buscaino, Councilmember 15th District. And also we have a cert for you from the Chamber of Commerce. But just thank you so much for everything you've done.
And the awards will keep coming. Just a couple more. I hope you have enough room on your wall for all of these. We're very grateful to have the president of the Torrance Chamber of Commerce here, Donna Duperon, here to present
Thank you.
an award to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, Ione. Could you please hold these for just a minute? Ione, I want to take a picture of you because I want to put it on my refrigerator. Because when I grow up, I want to be just like you. On behalf of the business community of the city of Torrance and the chamber members, we have about 950 businesses as part of our chamber. We would just like to thank you for all of your dedication that you have given to all of the different organizations. It makes such a big difference in our community. And thank you for your secrets of success, if you will. We would like to present you, not a secret anymore. We would like to present you with some roses and a birthday card, and we too also have a certificate from our Chamber of Commerce.
Oh my goodness.
There you go. Oh. But thank you so much. Thank you. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Donna. We have one.
Well, there you are.
We have one final speaker that we'd like to have come up, a lady probably who needs no introduction. Sister Terrence Landini, a very good friend of yours, share a few happy birthday wishes to you.
Well, first of all, I have to say this on behalf of the Sisters of the Little Company of Mary, because the auxiliary has always been like our shadow. They are like the Little Company of Mary Sisters Auxiliary, because they have always been there to start any of our ministries. And so they were in existence before the hospital opened, helping to get the rooms ready and fixing the drapes and making the beds. And Ione is a lifetime member, and I had the privilege of meeting her in 1966. I had been transferred from our hospital in Chicago. And the nice part about it is when I came out, they said, you can have the auxiliary and be with them. And I said, I love that because I had the auxiliary when I was back in Evergreen Park. But Ione was always a constant with me. And she knew that I had my family back in Chicago. So whenever she was ordering plush toys, and I think you all remember the Beanie Babies, well, I had a niece that collected them. And she said, Auntie, we cannot get these in Chicago. So I would say to Ione, do you get any of the new ones in? And when are you going to have them in so I can be the first one at the door to get one? And so the Beanie Babies went from California all the way to Chicago to make a little girl, Christine, my niece, happy. And it was because Ione would say, the Beanie Babies are in, and I'm going to put them on the shelf tomorrow morning at 11:30, so be there. But all through the years I've known Ione, so you can imagine since September of 1966. She always had the plush toys. She was always there for the sisters. If any of the sisters were sick, there was a call from Ione. What could I bring? What could I send? And of course, because she knew that a lot of us were Irish,
at Christmas, we got a little bit of Irish Bailey's cream. But you also knew that our sister Magdalene, who was the first administrator that she would remember we came out together, Magdalene liked it, so she made sure that on St. Patrick's Day, the sisters were celebrating with the group in the office, a little Bailey's Irish cream. But Ione was always there for us, and I just can say that through all the years, through even the times that we had illnesses in our own family, there was always a card from Ione. We always knew she was a part of the sisters, and I can't thank you enough, Ione. It was always my joy. I'd always see her. She'd be marking toys in the storeroom, and one day she said to me, "I think I've had enough of plush. I'm going to retire." I said, "How could you retire from the auxiliary?" And she said, "I have a few things on my bucket list to do." I said, "Good for you." And but I said, "You won't get away from us." She said, "Oh no, I'll be around." And it was my joy then she came to the PEP group, because I also remember when we started the PEP Pioneers. So we have a lot of history together. We've journeyed our lives together, and I thank Ione for being a beautiful presence in my life and in the lives of our sisters and all of us at Little Company of Mary. So Ione, we love you, and we wish you only the best and God's blessing on you.
Thank you, Sister Terrence, so much, and everyone that was here to celebrate Ione, from our political representatives, chambers of commerce, auxiliary volunteers that are here, administrators from the hospital, and everyone here from Pulmonary Rehab and PEP as well. It has just been an honor to hear your story today, to hear some of the wisdom.
My son-in-law is with me today.
Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And I do want to share, I know we have some more things coming, but there's a beautiful cake behind us, and I heard it is your favorite carrot. So you and Sister Terrence, that's her favorite too, we're going to have to fight over it. And we have a beautiful cake here as well. So again, thank you for letting us be a part of your day.
How did you know my favorite?
Little birdie present.
Okay, I'd like to introduce you to the president of our board of directors of the PEP Pioneers, Mr. Dan Buck. He's going to tell you a little bit about what life was like when Ione was born and some of the things she's lived through too.
What a great turnout today. Thank you everybody for coming to celebrate Ione's birthday. And hopefully very soon, the next week or two, we'll have all these pictures and videos up on our website. So come visit peppioneers.com. And we are the pioneers of the Pulmonary Re-Education Program from Providence Little Company of Mary Hospital. But I've got a little bit of trivia that Betsy helped me put together for this occasion today. And in 1915, the U.S. population was only 100 million people. Today we've got 320 million. Okay? The population in Iowa when Ione was born was only 2.3 million people. And today that's grown to 3.1 million, so about 30%. But she came here to California, and from what I can tell statistically, there's more Iowans in California than there are Californians in Iowa. So today, in 1915, the population was 3 million. Today, our population is over 32 million. So we've had, or actually over 37 million, so we've had 12 times growth in California. You know, we had a few people around here that are car buffs, and I used to think of myself as a car buff growing up in the 50s and 60s. I used to have a 67 Mustang. But when Ione was born in 1915, there were at least 80 different automobile companies that were in production in the United States alone. And in 1915, there were at least 6 companies that just started in the year 1915. So you can imagine the car experience that the young people had back in those days. The Biddle Motor Company, I don't think anybody's seen a Biddle, have they? Manufactured luxury automobiles in Philadelphia from 1915 to 1922. And they had an ad that said, information rather than persuasive sales talk. Is that a great way to sell a car or what? But back in those days, they had a 4-cylinder luxury model, which went for $3,475. Okay? Are we going to do the cake here? Sure. Okay, getting the cake ready. Okay, at the same time, a new Dort, new company, roadster was just $695. And the illustrious Ford Model T was rolling off the production lines then at only $440 for a Ford Model T. So if you can imagine, that Biddle was 8 times more expensive than a Ford. But in those days, there were also many steam and electric cars. And one of the interesting things, we think we've got so much technology here. Back in 1916, the Baker, Rauch, and Long Company built the Owens, a magnetic hybrid. So hybrid cars were around back in the early 1900s. Also born in 1915 were a lot of famous people in addition to Ione. And Ingrid Bergman, who was in the movie Casablanca. Eli Wallach, the actor from The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Orson Welles, who we all know, and acted in Citizen Kane. How about some guy called Old Blue Eyes? Frank Sinatra was also born in 1915. That's right. Anthony Quinn from Lawrence of Arabia. Harry Morgan. Anybody remember MASH? Harry Morgan was born in 1915. He was also in High Noon, which I didn't remember. Lauren Green. How about Bonanza? Lauren Green was born in 1915. Arthur Miller, writer and famous playwright, also born in 1915. Zero Mostel, the actor from The Producers. Gary Merrill, actor from All About Eve. Anybody heard of a Les Paul guitar? Oh, yeah. Yes. Les Paul was born in 1915 as well. And then we got a few philanthropists in addition to Ione. We have Randolph Hearst, born in 1915, as well as David Rockefeller, born in 1915. So 1915 was a great year for a variety of people. Also, we had some more famous people. Fernando Lamas, Barbara Billingsley, and Billie Holiday were all born in 1915. And some of the statistics from 1915, back then the average annual salary was $687 a year, according to the Census Bureau. But that was for a man. A woman's salary was about half of the $687 a year. By 1915, purchasing a house would typically set you back about $3,200. According to the Census Bureau. Get out of the way here. Okay, a typical car sticker price, they say, was about $2,000. So if you can imagine, that's 3 or 4 times your annual salary just to buy an automobile. So an automobile was really a luxury back in those days. Let's see, what else do we have here? Gasoline for those cars was only 15 cents a gallon. A first-class stamp was 2 cents. Okay. A loaf of bread was 7 cents, a dozen eggs 34 cents, a quart of milk was 9 cents, and a pound of steak was only 26 cents. So times were really different. But at the same time, that was a lot of money in those days for somebody making only $600 a year. Some of the world events in 1915. Harry Houdini performed a straitjacket escape performance in 1915. On January 5th, Joseph Carberry set an altitude record. We got a pilot here or two in the house. Set an altitude record of 11,690 feet in a fixed-wing aircraft. February 7th, the first wireless message was sent from a moving train to a train station, successfully received. Today we call this text messaging. Okay? Okay, the first U.S. coast-to-coast long-distance phone call connected Alexander Graham Bell from New York City with his assistant, Thomas Watson, in San Francisco. I can imagine that phone call. What did he say? Watson, is that you again? Okay, in May of 1915, Typhoid Mary, a lady named Mary Mallon, was arrested and returned to quarantine on North Brother Island, New York, after spending 5 years evading health authorities and causing several further outbreaks of typhoid fever. On April 11th, Charlie Chaplin's film The Tramp first came out, and Charlie Chaplin did a lot of Little Tramp characters over the years. How about Babe Ruth? In May of 1915, Babe Ruth hit his very first professional career home run for the Boston Red Sox.